I was born and raised in Monterey, graduating from Monterey High School in 2006, a proud Toreador. I started working in the automotive industry in 2007. In 2012, I started my own company, repairing vehicles with a process called paintless dent repair. I love my job. Today, I will tell you about 3 of my favorite pastimes: fishing, hunting, and scuba diving, which is part fishing and part hunting. My earliest memories as a child are that of days mooching for salmon on the bay in spring, sitting lakeside, waiting for trout to nibble my power bait in the summer, mixed with driving around our hunting club in an old Jeep, drinking Coca-Cola in the fall. These are examples of things that made me fall in love with the great outdoors. I often still fish for trout and remember the time spent with my father. There's a thrill to waiting for a fish to bite. I can't explain it, but if you've ever been fishing, you may understand. Fishing from a boat has always been a large part of my life. Some people don't like being on the ocean. But for me, there's a serenity that comes with knowing you're at the ocean's will. Being 100 miles offshore, searching for albacore, is nerve-wracking, but very rewarding. In recent years, I've become fond of scuba diving. In search of the California halibut, I will dive down to depths as deep as 90 feet, spear gun in hand. Carefully navigating over the sand, oftentimes less than 3 feet of visibility, just enough to see my compass. Finding the camouflage flatfish is exhilarating. Wrestling a fish on the floor of the ocean and getting it on my stringer while trying to remain calm and conserve air. The third outdoor passion I chose to share with you today is deer hunting. Tomorrow, 30 minutes before sunrise, California's A-Zone archery deer season will open. This is a moment I wait all year for. Into the Ventana wilderness, I'll hike with my backpack, bow, arrows, binoculars, and rangefinder. Set up a small camp and get a few hours of sleep, or try to. Waking up hours before sunrise, force-feeding myself some freeze-dried breakfast and coffee, I step into the darkness. Walking very quietly and constantly checking the wind for change, I will attempt to position myself within 50 yards of where a buck will walk from his morning water to his bedding area. Often this commute is done by bucks at night. They become nocturnal during summer months all the way through the fall. Often he won't show up. Pumping some water from a seep in the ground with a filter and getting ready for the rising temperatures around 45 degrees to often over 100 degrees, I begin to still hunt. Walking slowly with the wind at my face, hoping to spot the ears or antlers of a sleeping buck and close the distance. 300 yards, 200 yards, 100 yards. Closing the gap from 100 yards to a distance of less than 60 is a very challenging feat. The coastal black-tailed deer have a sense of smell, sight, and hearing much better than our own. One broken stick, a change of wind, or lack of preparing for thermal shift, or a doe who spots me because I was too focused on the buck. And just like that, he walks away, never to be seen again. Often I've been asked why I do it. Miss months of work, wake up at ungodly hours, torture myself with brutal hikes carrying heavy loads, sunburns, bug bites, poison oak, and body soreness that seems to never go away. My answer is, why do you eat, sleep, drink water? Because you have to live. I'm a hunter, that's why.
It's a pleasure to see so many guests here. I hope you all join. It's going to change your life. You're going to be so proud to be an NPS Toastmaster and be responsible for putting up some of those ribbons. Today, I'm evaluating Matt's speech. His reason for giving his icebreaker is to introduce himself to the club, which is what he did very well. And there are many ways to do this chronologically. I was born here, I did this, I did that, or to pick out a passion. You did a little bit of both. So we know where he's from, where he went to high school, and then he went on and told us about 3 elements of being outdoors that makes him very proud and very happy. You did that very nicely. It was very well organized, I thought. So we heard about your fishing with your father. I thought it was a little amusing that drinking Coke in the fall was part of the outdoor experience. But that was just me. And then you went on to your deep sea fishing, and I must admit that Matt has given me some of the halibut that we caught from off the bottom of the Monterey Bay. It was delicious. And finally, your hunting experience. Suggestions, how could this have been a little bit better? I think there was some confusion in terms of the title and your ending between the outdoors dimension of Matt and the hunter dimension of Matt. You started out with your title talking about why I love the outdoors, and we were led into that. And then you closed rather abruptly with, I do this because I'm a hunter. Didn't quite add up. So the next time you give a speech, we naturally progress to become purple ribbon people over time. It usually takes 75 speeches to get to that point. So we don't expect someone who gives their very first speech to have this all done, but that would be a strong recommendation for the future. I thought you use your notes well. As you get more comfortable up here, you can talk to the people in the audience more direct eye contact, use your notes. But in the beginning, that's perfectly fine. It was a pleasure to hear your speech today. I congratulate you on your icebreaker.